वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदावे कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमः। First of all, my Koti Dandavat Pranam in the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Nitya Leela Parvishnu Vishnu Pad, Ashtotar Sasmat Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Krishna. And same in the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru, Nitya Leela Parvishnu Vishnu Pad, Ashtotar Sasmat Bhakti Vedanta Swami. From 4 days, they are hearing Prem Divas. We should try to hear his instructions and follow. Yesterday he told बैरागी भाई ग्राम्य कथा ना सुनबे काने. Those who are renounced sannyasis and brahmachari, they should not fear. They talks, mundane talks, sense gratifications off. And even in dream, you should not talk with any lady, because you have given up your wife and children in home. If you want to have prayed in the Lord's feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always remember Choto Haridas, that Mahaprabhu rejected his for whole life, and he went to Prayag and left his body in Ganges. But Mahaprabhu not allowed him to come to his society. Grihastha Bairagi to him, Bole Gorara. Those who are Grihastha householder life and those who are renounced orders Sannyasi Brahmachari. His instruction that whole day and night you should chant name. What name? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. देखा भाई नाम बिना दिन नहीं गया. Very careful be that without name your time should not pass away. I think if you chant like this, even in sleep you will see that you are chanting. बहुअंग साधने भाई नहीं प्रयोजन. He is telling that if you are chanting Hari name, all your prayojan will be siddha there. All objects will be solved. Only by Hari name. साध्य साधने जो किछु सब हरिनामेते you will have in name. Krishna thought that how I can help these conditioned souls. In the end, he determined that I must be named, and that name anyone can chant at any time, daytime, night time, louder, slowly, with mala, with song, any day. गोरा भज भाई गोरा बिनु जगते जगते गुरु नाई गोरा रामी नहीं मुख्य बोलने नहीं चले मल्ली आई एम द सर्वेंट ऑफ गोरा गौरचंद्र दिस विल नॉट डू व्हाट ही हैज गिवन इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी to Rup Sanatan, to Adha Ramananda, we should always remember that and follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lok dekhan gora bhaja tilak matra dhari. Malli mota tilak and kanthi mala big. And bhajan mala 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 3 kilo, or it will not do. Even some knots in cloth, it will do. Without mala will do. But try to follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you are doing bhajan of Gaurchandra and you have so many other desires, he will know. You cannot hide anything from him. He must know. So don't do like that. Only how I Krishna Prem can I have. Only these things should be there. Otherwise all desires should be taken off. नाम अपराधे तुम्हार भजन होवे मत. If you are doing any path means sinful activities, knowingly doing, then it is aparadh also. So be careful from these things. Especially Vaishnava aparadh, Guru avagya, Shruti Shastra, Ninda, Tadarthavad, Name, Kalpana, Janam, and so many, 10 aparadhs. You should always be very careful. सब पाप क्षय जीवन मुख्य फल उदय बहुजन अर्चन है. If you are doing archan after birth, then Krishna Nirantar will come in your mouth, otherwise not. One day, Srila Raghunath asked Sarpa Damodar, I have heard Priti, love and affection, but I don't know what is Priti, what is love and affection. विद्यापति चंडीदास ये प्रीति वर्णिल से प्रीति बुझिते मोर नहीं शक्ति होइल. What Vidyapati, Chandidas and others have described in their books, I cannot understand what is Puriti. If we will read along, you will see that, oh, this is love and affection between man and woman, male and female, only this. And this male-female love affection cannot be transcendental. So what is transcendental prem, I want to know. You should know that you are loving your wife, your children. Oh, this is really not. This is worldly mundane. Transcendental, without any desire. The activities by mind, body, tongue and mood. In the guidance of Vaishnavas is pure bhakti, uttama bhakti. And by this bhakti will, prem will come. Prabhu tava haste more samarpita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given my hands in your hands. So I am asking you, you should tell me. Then Mahaprabhu has told about this. न प्रेम कंथोस्ति दरापि में हरौ कंदामि सौभाग्य भरम प्रकाशितम बंसी विलास से आननवलोकनं बिना विभट्म जत प्राण पतंग काम प्रसाद. Oh, generally people tell that, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had pure transcendental love. But I have not any smell of prem. Then why you are crying bitterly so? Oh, only to show that I have prem, but actually I have no prem. If a fish is taken out of water, at once they will give up his life. And from long time I have not seen Radha Krishna. And still I am alive. That's where that way. Piriti bole, piriti buji lake, jejan piriti bujite pare, bajagopi hoyense. Piriti, prem, love. We always talk about this, but who realizes this priti, this transcendental priti? If anyone will realize what is transcendental love, he will at once be gopi. At once he will be gopi. Priti boliya tinti akha vidit bhuvana majhe जहाँ ते पसिल से तो मजिल कि यार करुण कला. So in this world, if transcendental love and affection will come in our heart, then we will be totally mad, no sense, rolling down on the earth, always weeping, sometimes laughing, sometimes rolling down on the earth. And this love affection only in Vrindavan, Braja, not anywhere in this world. संसारे जते को रमन रम पुरुष रमनी alamban doshe sata. In this world, if you want to have love and affection, first transcendental स्थायी भाव will come. And then on that स्थायी भाव, विभाव, सात्विक, संचारी, anubhav, this will come. And then it will be love and affection. But we have not all these things. So, if you will chant Hare Krishna, oh, that pure love will come. And then your life will be successful. Gaur Pramanande. Gaurangera Duti Pada Sei Gora Sampada.
Gaurangera Duti Pada Jaradhana Sampada Gaurangera Duti Pada Jaradhana Sampada Se jane bhakti rasa Gaurangera madhur lila jara karne praveshila Gaurangera madhur lila jara karne hridaya nirmala hoilo Hridaya nirmala hoilata Je Gaurangera naam loy tara hoy premodoy tare mohe jao boli hare Gauranga gunete chure nitya leela thare skure se jana bhakti से जन्म कपि अधिकारी गौरंगेर संगी बने नित्य सिद्ध बनि माने से जय ब्रजेन्द्र सुतपा श्री गौर मंडल भूमि जे भजन चिंतामणि आज श्री गौर मंडल भूमि जे भजन चिंतामणि तार है ब्रज भूमि तार है ब्रज भूमि गौर प्रेम रसार नवे से तरंगे जीवा डूबे गौरा गौर हरि अमार गौर प्रेमा रसार से तरंगे डूबे श्री राधा माधव गृहे पावने देखगे हारुरंग बोली रखे प्रभु गौर हरि अमार गौरा है गृहे बाबा থাকে हा गौरंग बोली डाके नरोत्तम मगे तर संग राधम मागे गौर संग मागे गौर गौर हे गौर हे गौर हे गौर हे जय सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि जय सच्चिदानंद प्रभु गौर हरि सचिनंदन गौरंग महाप्रभु की
Yesterday, have heard about Prahlad Maharaj, his life. He knew that Krishna has protected him from all problems in past. Now he is protecting me and in future also. This is the very high class of solidarity. If you want to do bhajan, you should try to be like Prahlad Maharaj. Very tolerant, very strongness in heart, no fear at all. Like Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him. At once he came out in the form of half man and half wild animal, lion, and protected. You see, Maharaj Ambarish, you will hear how he was tolerant. Though a Kitya Rakshasi, demon, was coming to burn him, and he was standing fearless. मारे कृष्ण राखे के, राखे कृष्ण मारे के, Bangla. If Krishna is protector, who can do anything? And if Krishna not protects, then who will save you? So you should go on without fear, doing bhajan, Hare Krishna, and try to tolerate anyone, they cannot do anything. And one thing more, Nrsimha Bhagavan wanted to give so many benedictions. The kingdom of holy universe, Brahmapada, demigods, Mukti even, but he refused. So if you are doing bhajan, don't desire worldly happiness. Always in heart you should keep that I should have prema bhakti, nothing else. But if you will chant Hare Krishna, wealth should come, then wealth will come. And you will be entangled. So be careful. You can see how Maharaj Ambarish was tolerant. Always engaging his all senses in Krishna, in all respect, 11 his senses, always engaging. So Shyamrani will speak on that subject.
Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Astotra Satasri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Om Vishnu Pad, Astotra Satasri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, to all of our disciplic succession and all the assembled devotees and guests. Srila Gurudev has ordered me to speak about the life character of Maharaj Ambarish. a great king and pure devotee of the Lord who lived long, long ago. He was the king of the entire planet, so you can imagine how rich he was. But he considered the whole universe as very insignificant, no more significant than a piece of small stone. He considered his whole kingdom just like a dream. A dream is there for a moment and then it vanishes. So he considered that his whole kingdom and the whole world was just temporary and material and bound for destruction. So he never had any attachment for his kingdom, for his wife, for his children, for his friends, horses, chariots, elephant, or even his treasury. He was completely detached. And although he had a whole big management of the entire world, he preferred his own activities to be fully engaged in the Lord's service. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo vaichangsha vaikunta gunana varnane. He always engaged his mind in thinking of Krishna. He engaged his hands in cleaning the temple of Krishna, his legs in walking to the temple, his sense of touch in touching the pure devotees, his nose in smelling the fragrance of the tulsi and flowers offered to Krishna, his tongue engaged in glorifying Krishna and tasting and honoring Krishna's prasadam. In this way he was fully engaged in the Lord's service. He's very famous in connection with his observance of Ekadasi, the very auspicious day that Srila Gurudev said is not really a day, but it's Krishna himself. In order to protect the fallen conditioned souls who are transmigrating in different species and different hells with no hope, Krishna decided the only best thing I can do for them is to become a day, and simply by their observance of this day in me. So, despite all obstacles, King Ambarish is very famous for his observance of Ekadasi. He was fasting now for 3 days and nights straight. Then he bathed, dressed the deity, performed all the ritualistic ceremonies, served the deity with different paraphernalia, satisfied all the guests, gave away millions of cows to the brahmanas, fed the brahmanas, and now he was coming close to the Padan time. Padan means that time where one must break the Ekadasi fast in order to have the benefits of Ekadasi to its full fruition. So shortly before the Padan time, there was an unexpected guest. And that unexpected guest was the great Brahma Rishi, Durvasa Muni. He stood up, offered him a seat, worshipped him, and invited him to take Krishna's prasadam. But Durvasa Muni said, I'll go and take my bath first in the Jamuna, and then I'll come back. So while he was bathing, the time for Padan now came. Just a moment left. So Maharaj Ambarish had to consider, it's very offensive to a great Brahmana guest if I take my meal before him. And yet, if I don't observe Padan, then all of my Ekadasi fasting, this Ekadasi and my previous Ekadasis, I won't be able to get the fruits of that Ekadasi, which is pure bhakti. If I don't follow Ekadasi, I'll lose my bhakti. If I don't respect this Brahmin and take my prasadam before him, then I'll go to hell. So let me see which is worse. If I offend the Brahman, hell, but I'll still have my bhakti. So if I have my bhakti, everything is there. If I have my bhakti, I have Krishna. All universes, heaven and hell, the highest heavens, the highest Vaikuntha, and Goloka Vrindavan are all within Krishna, all within bhakti. Bhakti Devi is Srimati Radhika herself. But if I lose my bhakti, then even if I'm in heaven, I'll feel like I was in hell. So I think I'd rather follow bhakti. Srila Gurudev gave a very beautiful example in his own life. He was in the hospital in, I think, Bombay, and one of his disciples came to him and said, Gurudev, my son is really ill. Please bless him with good health. So Gurudev said, I asked her, do you want me to bless him with good health, or do you want me to bless him with bhakti? Oh, good health, Gurudev. So Gurudev said, she's so foolish, she doesn't realize that if I would bless her with bhakti, then good health and good everything is automatically there as insignificant byproducts. So Amrish understood that if I serve bhakti and I please Bhakti Devi, then everything is taken care of. If I have my $100, all my $10 problems are automatically served and solved. So he decided, and he got the confirmation from his brahmanas, because the good king, the good Vaishnava king, is always under the guidance of saintly brahmanas. In fact, his whole kingdom, being under his direction, was always engaged in chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. So his whole kingdom, all the residents of his kingdom, were so happy, so satisfied with their bhakti, they had no desire to enjoy any heavenly delights or to speak of any worldly opulence. So Maharaj Amrish got it in his brahmanas that if I take water, and not even ordinary water, I'll take the Sharanamrita, the water that bathed the lotus feet of my deities. If I take water, that's considered eating and also not eating. If one observes Ekadasi by taking fruits and vegetables, then he must break Ekadasi by grains. But if he's fully fasting, then he can break Ekadasi with just water, and that's considered eating and not eating. So it so happened that because this Durvasa Rishi was very powerful in his austerities, he was able to see in his meditation that Maharaj Amrish had drank that water. He came back in a completely furious state that I've been offended, I, the great Brahma Yogi, have been offended by this lowly Kshatriya. So he came back and started very angrily speaking to the king. You're not a devotee at all. You don't know how to respect Brahmanas at all. So he pulled some of his dreadlock, threw it on the floor, and all of a sudden, out from that piece of hair came a great female fiery demoness named Kurcha. And that demoness was holding her trident and began walking and simultaneously shaking the earth, coming to kill Maharaj Amrish. And as Srila Gurudev just said, what was Maharaj Amrish doing? He was simply folding his palms, tears flowing from his eyes, not in fear at all, but remembering the Lord's sweet pastimes, knowing Rakhi Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rakhi Ke. Whoever Krishna wants to kill, nobody can save. Whoever Krishna wants to save, nobody can kill. So absorbed in Krishna, he had no fear at all, no concern at all. But Krishna, some time ago, knowing that Maharaj Amrish would not try to protect his own life, he had ordered his Sudarshan Chakra to give Maharaj Amrish full protection against all enemies and against all adverse situations. So now that this fiery demon was coming towards Maharaj Amrish, the Sudarshan Chakra, ordered by Krishna, was now prepared and hurled itself towards that demon and immediately in one moment burnt the demoness to ashes. And then that Sudarshan Chakra went after Durvasa Muni. And without a moment's hesitation, in complete fear for his life, he began running everywhere. Under the oceans, up in the mountains, in the sky, because he had all mystic powers. He could go anywhere. So then he found no shelter in the earth because the Sudarshan Chakra was just about to burn him to ashes. So he went all the way to Brahma Loka. And Lord Brahma said, I'm sorry, I can't save you. We're all surrendered to the will of the Lord. Durvasa said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has sent the Sudarshan Chakra. I'm afraid, please save me. How can we go against the order of the Lord? We're fully dependent upon His will. So then, having no protection in Brahmaloka, Durvasa Muni went to the planet of Lord Shiva, begging for help. And Lord Shiva said, I'm sorry. Oh yes, you could see in your meditation, past, present, and future, that he was drinking water. But that became a source of danger for you. But wait, why are you trying to find my faults? Why don't you look at his fault? I usually never accept any invitation, but I was kind enough to accept his invitation, and then he took something before I got back. Couldn't he have waited a couple of minutes? So by now, the Lord is getting very intolerant. Look, I don't have time to talk to you. You should go back to my devotee. He wasn't eating. First of all, water is not eating and not eating. Second of all, it was my Charanamrita. Third of all, he was simply following the scriptures. The scriptures said that for a fruitful Ekadasi, one has to take Paran at an exact right time. Because that's me, that's my day. My day is Ekadasi. So at least he believes in the scriptures, which you don't. So I'll tell you something for you. You should go back and beg his mercy. I'll tell you another thing. He's so powerful that if he wanted, he could have immediately destroyed that demon, and he could have destroyed you too. But he didn't. He was fully surrendered to me. And I would have killed you in a second. But why didn't I? Because it would have brought him unhappiness. He would have blamed himself, as he's already blaming himself. He's already praying for your welfare, and that's why I'm not killing you. So go back and take shelter of him. By now, Durvasa Muni realized the power of Ekadasi Vrat. So he immediately, by his mystic power, dived at the feet, went back to earth and dived at the feet of Maharaj Ambarish, who was already praying to Sudarshan Chakra. And for the whole year that the Sudarshan Chakra was following Durvasa Muni, for that entire year, as what he considered his penance, his repentance, thinking that Durvasa Muni is suffering on my account. This is Vaishnavata. This is the mentality. He was fasting the entire year as a penance. And now he was praying to Sudarshan Chakra. If I have done any service to you, to the Lord, if my family has done any pious activities, then please don't burn this stage. So in order to please Maharaj Ambarish, the Sudarshan Chakra cooled off and Durvasa became peaceful. Immediately Maharaj Ambarish gave him prasadam, even though he had been fasting for the whole year, and Durvasa Muni was the glory of the Vaishnava. So then he went off after observing, taking the prasadam and begging Maharaj to take prasadam. He went off into the skyways and chanting the glories of Maharaj Ambarish. There's a very great secret here, because the glory of Maharaj Ambarish, who, even though he knew that he was powerful enough to stop the Sudarshan Chakra, he didn't take any credit. He gave all the credit to the Lord's mercy. But one very secret thing here, why didn't that Sudarshan Chakra kill Durvasa Rishi? Not only because of the prayers of Maharaj Ambarish, the glory of Maharaj Ambarish is also the glory of Durvasa Rishi, because he's our devotee. The Loka of Vrindavan and associate with Krishna, gopis, and witness pastime with the cowherd boys. Krishna will even walk up to him and pull his beard. Oh, Baba, Baba, what have you done? And he jokes with the gopis also. And he also gave benediction to Srimati Radhika that her cooking would be able to give long duration of life for anybody she cooks for, and that's why Mother Yasoda wanted her to cook for Krishna every day. So he's willing to be the bad guy in all circumstances in order that Krishna's devotees come forward. So all glories to Ekadasi, all glories to Maharaj Ambarish, all glories to Durvasa Rishi, all glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to God. Thank you so much.
You have heard Amish Maharaj. At the time of Diksha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya and he met with a very high class of Uttam Mahabhagavat Ishtar Puri Path. And he fell flat on the Ishtar Puri Path, just saying that I have given my whole heart and soul in your lotus feet. I have done Atma-samarpana, Atma-nivedan. Now my life and soul in you, not with me. So nothing to bother me, because I have given totally to you. And then Mara Virat Kavi Jo Ichha Tumhara. If you will kill me, you will save me. It is your duty. My duty is finished here by Atma Samarpana. So I think at the time of Diksha, you should try to be like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You should tell Gurudev, oh Gurudev, I have given my life and soul and everything. I am going to do Atma Samarpanam, Atma Nivedanam. Now, you should take me out of this black veil or endless cycle. Then you really Diksha. I think now Diksha, what we are giving, not real Diksha, not transcendental Diksha, but it is a student, then high school, then graduation, then more PhD, DD, all are a student. But a very small boy who is class 1 is not equal to that PhD student. Similarly, I have given you chance to do Atma Samarpan and to do Bhakti. And if you have done Atma Samarpan, then why to fear from this world? What world will do you? Even jump cannot come to you if you have given your soul in the hands of Krishna. Then jump cannot go to Krishna. So, try to do Atma Samarpanam first, and then be free from all fears. This is the teaching of Swami Maharaj, and he was so. Now, in ancient time, Mathura was big in power, empire. And Ugrasen was the ruler of that country. His brother Devaki, Deva, and so many brothers were there. They were subordinate to Ugrasen. And also that kingdom in Mathura Pradesh, Sursen's son Vasudev Maharaj was king there. But very, very honest and good devotee, high class of devotee. When the daughter of Devaki was about to marriage time, all became very happy. Ugrasen called that Vasudev Maharaj that we want to marry our daughter Devaki to you. Please accept. He was so beautiful, good devotee, and what he has told, he will, up to lifetime, he will try to keep his words. Then, at the time of marriage, when marriage was done, Kans himself came, oh my dear sister Devaki is married and he is going to his in-law house. So, he took the chariot, golden chariot, his own, and he sat on that and he seated Devaki and Vasudev on that chariot, golden chariot, and he was driving. In the meantime, a spy voice came, oh, Murkha Kansa, oh foolish Kansa, what are you doing? To whom you are carrying, with very, very ananda, love and affection. Oh, the aged child will kill you. Hearing this, he turned at once. He has not done Atma Samarpanam, anything. And that is why he wanted to kill his sister. A sister which is younger, she like daughter. And he one hand he took sword, and by one hand he catch hold of his hair and wanted to cut. Then Vasudev said, what are you doing? This is your daughter. You should not do. At the time of marriage, what are you doing to keep your sister like your daughter? Don't keep. You should know that those who have birth must, after some days, some years, they will die. You will also die. I will also die. Devaki will also die. But why you are taking the aparad by killing her? A time will come, she will die, you will be died. Also, don't kill. Even he was not sharing and wanted to kill. Then Vasudeva Maharaj told, why you are not fearing from Devaki, but you are fearing from the child who will kill you. So, beginning from 1 to end, all the sons I will give in your hands and you should kill. Why you are killing this lady, your daughter? Then he thought, but their heart has told he will keep forever. So he released from there and sent them to their houses. After some trials, Krishna took birth in Mathura in jail, but Narad Rishi in the meantime came and told what he had done. I have heard in heavenly plan, there was a meeting of demigods. They were making a plan how to kill Kamsa. And for them, they had come and taken birth in Braja and also in Mathura, Jaduvanshi and in Goku. So all the Gops and Jaduvanshi are now demigods. They will kill you. Hearing these, it became very terrible and violent. And then he ordered that bring Devaki and Vasudeva and keep in jail. And so many gods were there. After some days, Krishna took birth by the womb of Mother Devaki, but not full, partly. And in the same time, in Braj, in Gokul, by the womb of Mother Yashoda. In full, Swami Bhagavan was there. It has written everywhere. So sometimes, to please Parikshit Maharaj, the same dynasty, he has told that, he came by the womb of Mother Devaki. Clearly he has not written that he was son of Yashoda Devi in full. But anyhow, we should know that the Krishna coming from the womb of Mother Yashoda, he was Swami Krishna, Swami Bhagavan, and that is why he played so many sweet times from beginning. And when the job to be in Braj was finished, after Rash, Akrur came and took Krishna and Baladev. So many things. Now when Krishna was of 6 days, a big demon lady called Putana, his body was, she has a power of 10,000 animals. Like Kans was, so Kans had made his sister, that you are my sister. So he went to Bratsi, he said that you should go and kill that boy and then return back. So how it was done? What Putna did? Vichitra, daughter Vichitra will explain.
Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Srimate Bhaktivedanta Narayana Tinamine Shri Krishna Bhaktine Sadakshana Dharma Gunaschutam Param Vedana Prushamantam Narayanam Tvam Shri I offer my...
Can you give your paper? Very awesome.
One verse I wanted to say. All right. So, when Kamsa, he was afraid of his death. He knew in advance that the 8th son of Devaki was going to kill him, and he was always living in fear. So when he went to get the 8th child from Devaki in prison, and it turned out it was a girl. So he was completely bewildered, and first he wasn't going to kill her, and then he thought, yes, because a boy will kill me. So then he thought, I don't want to take a chance. So he picked up that baby girl and was going to dash her on the stone, and all of a sudden she turned into this enormous 8-armed form, and it was his worshipable deity, Mahamaya. So she said, "Oh, Kamsa, you moron, you fool! Don't you know the person who's going to kill you has already taken birth somewhere else, and you cannot avoid your death." So then he was even more scared. So Narayana Muni came to him and said, "Yes, you better take precautions, because you should protect yourself." So he had taken on this Putin as his sister, and Gurudev said she had the strength of 10,000 elephants. And she was a Rakshasi. She was very fond of killing babies and drinking their blood. She had very particular taste. So Kamsa said, "Okay, you should go around and look for all the newborn babies born within a certain day, number of days, and kill them, eat them, and this way you can save me." So she went around, but those first babies, she never got into Braj at that point, and she never touched any of the gopis. And then, when the time was right, she just walked right into Braj without invitation, and nobody tried to stop her. And she had all mystic powers. She could fly through the sky. She could ride on the branch of an uprooted tree and go anywhere she liked. So she landed one day and walked into Braj, and she had the instructions to look for that baby Krishna, that little infant, because he would be particularly tasty. So she walked in and no one stopped her, and she just seemed to know right where to go, and she went to Nanda Maharaj's palace and walked right into the maternity room, and nobody stopped her because she had these mystic powers, and Yogamaya had also opened the way for her to come. She was able to take on the form of a very, very beautiful woman. So beautiful that everybody, all the rich Basis, looked at her in amazement, and she had flowers in her hair and beautiful smile and full breasts and a slender, skinny waist and big hips. And she was smiling at everyone and glancing at everyone and twirling a lotus in her hand. And the Brajabasis thought maybe she was Indrani or Lakshmi Devi herself coming to take darshan of Narayana, Nanda Maharaj's Istadev. So everyone was so impressed by her charm and her beauty, and she walked right into the maternity room. And Yashoda Maya was there, and Rohini also. And baby Krishna was lying on his bed. And because her beauty was so great that Yashoda just didn't say anything. Actually, I've heard Gurudev say that Yashoda actually greeted her because Yashoda thought, she's even more beautiful than me, that she's more motherly than me, so she actually offered her baby to Putana, because she thought she's got more qualities than I have, and certainly she can give more affection to this child, and he'll appreciate that. So, without anyone objecting, Putana took that baby on her lap, and Bhagavatam says that it was like a rope. Someone will mistake a snake for a rope. So she mistook that baby. Actually, she saw he had full powers. In an instant, she knew he was the Supreme Lord, but he was like fire covered by ashes. So then, covered over, she took that. She thought it was a rope, but actually it was a snake, a live snake she took that was going to be her doom. So she took that baby to her breast and was smiling and being very affectionate in a very motherly way. And then she had already smeared some poison on her breast. So then, acting like a mother and with the sanction of Mother Yashoda, she pushed her breast into the mouth of baby Krishna. And Krishna, he knew who she was. So then, all of a sudden, he just, with his tiny little hands, he grabbed hold of her breast and squeezed it so hard that she started screaming and bellowing in pain. And she was trying to pull him off, and she couldn't. She had the strength of 10,000 elephants, but this tiny baby, she couldn't budge him. And his feet also, he was standing on her chest with his feet with so much power, pushing down so hard that she started beating his feet with her hands. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, these feet, these lotus feet that rishis are meditating on for thousands and thousands of years, praying to get sight of in their meditation. These feet are on her chest, blessing her, and she's beating them, trying to get them off. So then Krishna is holding on, and he sucked out her life air. He drank her milk, and he sucked out her life air at the same time, and was not touched by that deadly poison. So, feeling all this pain, and she couldn't maintain that beautiful form, and she assumed her huge, ugly Rakshasi form, and it was like six miles long. And when the pain, before she died, she was running out of the house trying to get away. And little baby Krishna, he's hanging on, still holding onto her breast. So she's running out of town, and then all of a sudden she just fell down dead, and she's like covered 12 miles of area, and ended up in Kamsa's gardens on the outskirts of Braj, and crushed all the wonderful fruit trees in his garden. So with her bellowing, all the Brajbasis that struck terror in their hearts. And they thought, my God, what's going on? And then they ran after Putana when they saw her, she was dead. And Rohini and Yashoda also came. And the first thing, Yashoda's little Krishna, he's there, he's not scared at all, and he's just playing on her chest still, he's having a good time, he's not at all disturbed. So Yashoda, she took her baby, and then they took him back home, and they said mantras to purify him, to keep any evil spirits away. Then they bathed him with cow urine, and they took the dust that had been raised from the cow's hooves and smeared that on him for protection. And then with mantras, they did Akshaman, and with mantras they blessed every limb of his body with different names of Narayana to protect him. So then they were peaceful. And then Nanda Baba, he came home. He had gone to Mathura that day to pay he had to pay taxes to Kamsa. So on his way back home, he saw Putana there, this huge body, and he first thought, oh, am I seeing things? What's going on? And he said, no, this must just be some illusion. And then he went home and heard the story of what had happened. So then he and the other, they got these lower class Brajbasis to chop up Putana's body, and they took the pieces of her body further outside and got many pieces of wood and made a big bonfire and burned her body, because any kind of creature that's poisonous and will kill people, they have to burn the body of that creature, and that completely nullifies any evil effect that they can have.
Thank you.
Oh, right. And when they were burning her body, the scent of aguru was coming in the air, because Krishna had touched her when she was dying, and all of her sins were vanquished and nullified, so she became pure, and she gave off a very beautiful scent. So when there's a very nice verse that Uddhava says to Viduta when after Krishna has left, and it's Aho Bhakyam. I can't remember this. Yeah. All right. So very nice verse that Uddhava says about how merciful Krishna is, because this Rakshasi Putana came to kill Krishna, and Krishna is so merciful that he gave her the destination of being a nursemaid in Golok. So he's so kind that even though she came to him with evil intentions, he gave her a very wonderful destination. So Uddhava was completely amazed at Krishna's mercy. And this verse is one of the verses that Vyasadeva taught to the woodcutters when he sent them to the forest to attract his son Sukadeva Goswami to come back home and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. when he heard about how merciful Krishna is, and he was very attracted, and he wanted to hear more. And Srila Saraswati Thakur, he gives a very interesting commentary on the identity of Putana, that actually she represents the false guru, the bogus guru, who's giving either liberation or some kind of subtle material enjoyment. And this Putana is the very first demon that Krishna killed in his pastimes. And this is significant because Putana, as the bogus guru, she will come and try to kill the seed of bhakti, that little sprout. As soon as it takes birth, try to crush it out so that realization of the truth cannot exist in this world, because the materialists, they cannot tolerate even the scent of bhakti and hearing anything about Krishna's personal form and the supreme absolute truth. They try to wipe it out as soon as it comes. So I know many of us experienced that when we came to the path of bhakti, because so many family members would try to crush us down and ostracize us and boycott us, and some people, I'm told here in Russia, their parents even sent them to jail to try to make bhakti.
Vrinda is holy land. There is no difference between Golok Vrindavan and Bhu Vrindavan. In this Vrindavan, how a demon can come? This is the question. Only by Yog Maya. Yog Maya attracts the demons to renew Krishna's love and affection. Sometimes Krishna is there with them. Oh, there no so much love and affection at that time. If any friend is always together, life is going on. But after a long time they will meet, then the love and affection will be renewed. So Yogmaya wants that their Parivasi love and affection is so much high, but still there should be current, webs there should be. So to create webs, to renew the love and affection, or sometimes Putna, sometimes Bakasur, Aghasur, sometimes Brahman, and this way they come, and then Yashoda thinks that anyhow my child has been saved. Oh, now I should keep all this. So in this way renew love. But Krishna is so merciful. So merciful. Anyone if desires that I want to serve Krishna, then by Yogmaya he takes them. Those Putna was demon. And she wanted to kill Krishna. But for that, he has no milk in his breast, her breasts. She filled anyhow very high class of strong poison in his breast, in her breast. And went in the very motherlyhood, any lady. And she saw that Krishna was playing there on the plain of only 6 years age. At once, 6 days. 6 days. And once she picked up Krishna. Oh, my dear son, Yashoda is not your son, because he has kept you from her heart outside. I want to keep in my life. And thus burnt, and Krishna soaked that poison and big poison, and then he began to cry, "Save me, my brother, come, save me, save me." And then he forget his heart, illusory Maya. And at once he became of 6 miles, run towards in a sky, flying towards Kansa. But Krishna told him, "Oh, those who come to me, I never give up them. So I will not let you off from the Vrindavan, this Gokul, you will have to be here." And so he killed Putana there. But give liberation and also motherlyhood position in Golok, not in Vrindavan, in Golok, where Krishna Swakiya Lila going on. So, Sukadeva Goswami has told, "Aho bakiyam stanakal kutam, jighansaya aptasadvan, leve gatim hadrujitam tato annankam vabhajeta." Oh, Putana, killing boys and drinking their blood, eating their meats, body meat. So Papa Tatma, sin actor. And even Krishna gave him a very good position. Oh, giving up Krishna, who will serve all demigods and others, even Narayana and others. So we must, Krishna can save from all problems. He can easily give prema. Any Sri Ramchandra, Krishna, they cannot give me Madhur Rasa and all these things. Only Krishna can give. So we wholeheartedly we should surrender unto Krishna lotus feet, Atma Nivedan, Atma Samarpanam, and begin your bhakti. Go Pramanande. Tomorrow, our sannyasis should be ready for Kaliya Daman Leela, Dhenukasur Birth, Brahma Mohan Leela, and then Berugi, and if time we will describe about Gopi Geet and Brahma Geet in brief. Gaur Pramanande. Will you go?